Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent and the host of Unfiltered on Saturday nights. Dan, your thoughts?
Well, a couple things here, Jesse. You know, they have this thing in courts called Giglio material. So if you're a federal agent or a police officer like I was, and you get caught lying, right, on the stand, you're basically done. You have to resign because that material has to be exposed for every other case. And you'll never have credibility in front of a jury in the future because it'll always be brought up. Now, what does it have to do with this? Well, you know, I was thinking before doing this segment today, you know, what happens when an entire agency basically gets giglioed, right? Mm-hmm. And their credibility of the whole agency, even though there's probably some very decent people working there gets flushed down the drain. I mean, think about it, Jesse. I don't think the FBI really grasps, the management of the FBI, the damage the collusion hoax did to people. I mean, think about it. Not to relitigate that. We've heard the details, but someone told you about a fictitious pee-pee tape, and you started an international, literally, investigation, and yet someone turned over to you Hunter Biden's actual laptop, and you still can't figure out what to do. And I mean, how do you not realize, like, 40 to 50% of America is looking at you like, really, guys? Like, is this for real? You know, the whole agency has essentially been giglioed. And your point is great about how they're not allocating their time right, how'd they miss all this stuff. But one other thing here, we got to be careful about lists. That's what worries me. Like, the danger I'm worried about here is an overcorrection by the FBI and then gathering these lists of people, and then all of a sudden conservatives find themselves on these lists. That just kind of concerns me. I mean, given the incompetence we've seen in the past.
You know, I totally agree. And, you know, I'd prefer less censorship on social media. You know, let everybody say whatever they want, but there has to be some people flagging death threats. When you say you're going to go out and kill people, someone has to see that somewhere and flag it. And you brought up the point about, you know, there are good FBI agents, but who's ever running the FBI, the top guys, Benny Johnson put this thing together. It's the governor of Michigan. It's the January 6th stuff, the subway shooter, the Pulse nightclub shooter, the Parkland shooter, the Vegas shooter, the rape of American female gymnasts, and Hunter Biden. You have a whole list of very high priority things that have happened, that they've botched, that they've missed, they've had their fingers on or not had their fingers on, which they should have. I don't have any, as you said, trust in the Bureau anymore. Do you?
No, I mean, I've repeatedly said that. You know, there's this concept in economics called opportunity costs, right? There's a cost to foregone opportunities. And obviously the cost here is real. While they spent time allocating manpower, assets, and resources to what are apparently political investigations.
Right, it's all political.
I mean, we just saw them faceplant in Michigan and elsewhere, right? The Michigan case. What happened? All this other stuff magically slid under their nose. But the answers aren't simple. It's like I just said to you. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather shrink the federal law enforcement presence dramatically, clean house at the top, and turn a lot of this over to the state police. They just have not been effective, Jesse. They haven't. I mean, the Michigan case with the kidnapping was a total failure.
Dan,
how do you think about this?
Dan,
how do you not get one single conviction? Do you know how bad of a case that had to be?
Dan, I don't think Ray keeps his job. How does he keep his job as the director after that? After all these things, after everything.
One case.
Yeah, after everything.
One case I was a part of, and it was a huge deal. The DOJ was calling the Secret Service office. How'd you guys, it wasn't my case, it was a hand-me-down, but I was a guy retired. How do you lose a case like that? Do you know how bad that case had to be? I mean, he needs to go. The whole upper-level management of the FBI, really, it's time to move on. This isn't working out.
No,
You've been giglioed, the whole agency. They don't trust you anymore.
You've been giglioed. I'm going to have to work that into the commentary. I want to remind the audience that people have been pushing the New York City leadership, New York leadership, to put more police on the subways to prevent things like that happened yesterday from happening again. One of those people, many Democrats, AOC, has been hammering Cuomo and all these leaders here in New York. Stop, don't put any police on the subway. It's racist. You know, you can't do that. You know, it's going to make people scared when they have their muffins and coffee on the way to work. And look what happens. Is she ever going to have to own anything, or is she just going to skate like usual?
No, that's the essence of being a leftist. Of course you don't have to own it. You know, hike taxes, crash the economy, print money, inflation goes wild. Blame it on oil executives and permits and leases. I mean, they always get away with this because of the media. But think about this. AOC was born in 1989. She's 32. I mean, honestly, what the hell do you know at 32? Even worse, she did not live through, Jesse, the 80s and the 70s like most people did in New York City who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s right now, who remember what it was like. You remember the day where, Jesse, it wasn't that your car was going to get stolen in New York. It was just how quickly. Like, is it today or next week? Do you remember they had the club, and then they had the cap for the club because they saw the steering wheel, and then you had to put the club on backwards because they used to free on the club with the cap? I mean, your car was getting stolen. It was only a matter of when. If you remember that, which AOC doesn't, she was born in 1989, you probably have a different opinion than this 32-year-old congresswoman who knows nothing about nothing and has this magic power over the dopey far left in the United States. I mean, it's like she's like Lucky Charms for that. I don't get it. It's like children's cereal.
And Dan does not want to sleep with AOC. That's what she says. If you attack
I don't want to date her.
You want to sleep with her. We just
yes,
have to clarify.
Please.
Thank you.
You're going to send out a tweet, AOC. I'm married. I'm okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
I don't want to date you.
Dan Bongino, 9 o'clock Saturdays. Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.